Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a successful transition from monogamy to open. It's Wednesday, so it's time for another little video, and today we're going to talk about understanding the different types of open relationship styles. The term open relationship is really an umbrella term that kind of encompasses everything. But there are some unique ways that people engage in open relationships that have some qualities and distinctions that can help you decide which is really the best one for you. So we're going to talk about those today and give you at least a little brief overview of what they all are and how you can kind of know the difference between one and the other. Some of these may be terms you've known before, some of them may be new. I believe in the power of language, and I believe that understanding the basic meaning of terms is important, even though in the world you're going to hear different slang terms for all of these that different people have come up with for themselves. However, it's important for you to know that those distinct differences when you're hearing these different kinds of slang or how people are using these terms in different ways. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just helpful for you to understand that, especially when you're learning from the beginning. So the first way that many people get involved in open relationships is a term many of you probably have heard of, and that's swinging, or what many people nowadays will refer to as the lifestyle. Both terms are appropriate. Some people just prefer one term over the other. I will tend to use the term swinging lifestyle when I talk about it, mainly because there are other groups like people who are in the BDSM lifestyle who will refer to themselves as being in the lifestyle. So depending on who you're talking to, if you just say you're in the lifestyle, that can be confusing. So for purposes of clarity, I will talk about it as being in the swinging lifestyle. The swinging lifestyle is mainly made up of couples with some single men and single women who also engage in swinging. One of the ways that you know you're dealing with swinging and not one of the other styles is that swinging tends to be much more of a recreational type of open relationship style. And by that I mean that it's usually couples who are their relationship with each other is their primary relationship. They don't have other relationships with emotional depth, other people they feel like they're in love with. They are primarily in love with each other, and their other sexual partners are recreational, they're more casual, they may be friends. Sometimes they can be deep friendships that they've had for a long time, or they may be people they've met at a party or at a club, and really don't know that well. They just met them, they have a strong attraction, and they all decide they want to play and be sexual with each other. But the couple themselves consider themselves the unit. That's where the emotional depth in the relationship is. And that then leads us into the next one, which is called polyamory or poly. Polyamory is a form that very different from swinging in that the other partners have great emotional depth. So oftentimes you'll see people in poly relationships who don't have the same number of sexual partners that people in the swinging lifestyle have, because they consider all of their partners to be important. They have great depth with them. They might say that they're in love with them. And they're a big part of their life. So as you can imagine, if you think about your one partner and the amount of time and energy you spend with one partner, now you do that with 2, 3, 4, that can take a lot of time and energy. And so that's why usually people in poly relationships don't have the number of sexual partners that people in the swinging lifestyle have. But they have a lot more depth. And so that's the main big difference between those two. The last one is called designer relationships. Now, I wish I could say I invented the term designer relationships. Unfortunately, I didn't. It's been around for about 15, 20 years. And when you think about it, technically all open relationships could be defined as designer relationships because all the people, whether they're in the swinging lifestyle or polyamory, have very unique ways of doing those types of things. What sets designer relationships apart from both the swinging lifestyle and polyamory is that these relationships tend to be different in and not have quite the same aspects. They don't quite fall into swinging, they don't quite fall into polyamory. They're often very unique. A good example of designer relationships would be people who engage in the term called monogamish. It's a term that I believe was coined by Dan Savage of Savage Love. And it basically means a couple who most of the time consider themselves having a monogamous relationship. However, they have agreed upon certain situations to where sex outside of that relationship is acceptable and okay with them under those unique conditions. Another example of a designer relationship would be a couple where one really feels that they like the unique aspects of the swinger lifestyle. They like that more casual sexual partner with one committed partner, and the other partner in that couple likes the more polyamory side, and they want another partner that has that depth, that love, that emotion involved with it, as well as the sex. And so then as a couple, they're not going to both be in the same camp. And that can be a way of designing a relationship that is unique for them. As you can imagine, this can get very complicated. And there is a lot more to this. So this is a brief overview and a brief teaching of what those styles are. We are going to go into a lot more detail in the coming weeks because, as you can imagine, there is a lot more information to learn and to know. Especially as you're trying to decide which of these might be the right one for you. There are many factors that come into play, and so we're going to talk about all that. But anyway, that's all for today, and on Friday we're going to come back and I will talk about common questions that people have about open relationships. You just got to see my cat Gabby there in the background. Say hello, Gabby. And again, if you want to join the private Facebook group by the same name, A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open, we are growing by leaps and bounds. There are new people there. There are people who are experienced and have been in open relationships for a long time. There's some great discussions going on. Thank you, people. I am just blown away by how well it is going in less than a week. It's amazing, and I'm very happy. So feel free to join that. Feel free to tell your friends if they're interested, and I will see you on Friday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.